All right, everybody, welcome to the Safe Haven once again. It's me, DC, your host, and we are here with Nobody's Finance. This is just a reminder for everyone that anything you hear is not a financial advice, and we are simply here to help you do your own research so you can make the best investment decision possible for yourself. Please pay attention to the host's character, the details of the project, and the purpose of why they're doing it. Alrighty. Now, without further ado, Adam, what brought? Okay, well, you're in it. You're not. You didn't make the project, so tell us a little something about Nobody's Finance.
I'd love to. Yeah, so I'll just kind of introduce first of all by saying it's a pleasure to be here. It's always a lot of fun with all y'all. Happy to see you hosting, man. Love to see you here. And you're correct. Yeah, so I'm a spokesperson for Nobody's Finance. I'll give a brief background on me and then get into the more important piece, the team, and then a bit about the project. So a little bit about me. I've been in crypto since 2017. Since then, in around 2020, got really invested into Binance Smart Chain projects, started diving deeper into launch pads and the like. One thing led to another, and I became a marketing manager for 4 different projects. And from there, kind of pioneered the whole spokesperson thing within AMAs, not hosting, that had been around far before I was here, but actually representing projects is something that got really excited about and started to look into. So since then, I've done quite a few, and this is one of them that I was very happy to vet, look into, and then decide to represent them as their official spokesperson. So how that kind of happened was the team from Nobody's Finance, they reached out to me after seeing some other work that I had done, and they said, hey, we'd be interested in you representing our project. We're not native English speakers. We're from Asia. And I said, okay, well, I go through my standard due diligence, send me the project details, let me have a meet with the team, let me kind of understand like what's behind this, how long have you guys known each other. I'm proud to say for this one especially, this team has known each other for 4+ years in the traditional Web 2 space. Outside of that, they've been working on this since October, or actually more September. And actually the audits back that up as well. If we look at the audits that were done by Rug Free Coins and otherwise. So I was very happy to see that this team has been diligently working on this. And what we're able to see before I get into the high level details of what they're bringing forward here, the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that all of the features of the dApps are already available to be looked at. So you can actually go to the front page, click on Launched App, and then actually get into some of these features that you can try for yourself. Now, just as DC had said, watch out for yourself, make sure they're not making irrational decisions. I would also say, as you're testing this out, maybe create a new wallet, use that as your test wallet to connect to the website, because even though this seems like a very good project and there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about that are quite exciting, you always want to have your wallet security be first and foremost. So I would suggest generating a test wallet, trying this out for yourself and seeing what this looks like. But again, going into what we're seeing here, we see all the major features are already available to be able to be viewed, and then once the token goes live, you'll start to see the dashboards work. So now that I gave that kind of forward, I'd like to explain a little bit about what Nobody's Finance is about. So first, I'd like to start with kind of a branding overview. Like, why did they pick the name? What is that all about? Kind of an odd name, right? Nobody's Finance. Well, what they wanted to do is they saw that there was kind of a need in the market of being able to create a financial DeFi project that's addressed not just big holders, but also small holders as well. And since crypto is kind of this anonymous, you don't really know anyone super in depth, but you can create some lasting friendships. Everyone's kind of a nobody to each other, right? Project owners are kind of nobodies to their community in some ways. Community members are that way to each other. But that should also be respected, and we should take care of even like the most simple investor who only has $10 to invest. That person should be treated the same, and the reward should be structured that way as well. So the barrier to entry should be pretty nominal. So with that in mind, that's kind of the reason why they went with Nobody's Finance. The other thing too is they wanted to create an infrastructure that supported itself and also allowed for some trending utilities to be included in, such as NFTs, such as native swaps, and the like. So I'll now go into some of the high-level features, and we'll dive deeper in as we go, of course, but I just wanted to forward with this info. So the main features that make Nobody's Finance kind of set itself apart from others is, first of all, NovoSwap. Second of all, their innovative invitation system where you can earn BUSD commission on every single trade using NovoSwap. The lockup dividend feature that is going to be supported by the swap fees. The Nobo NFT mine system where you're going to be able to pair your Nobo tokens to an NFT that you can mint to actually earn more Nobo tokens with differing various levels of hash rates depending upon the rarity. And then the ability to actually generate these NFTs, very limited NFTs, only 2,000, using an Origin box system, and then you're able to put them in their marketplace after as well. So that's high level what we're looking at here. I'm going to hand it back to you, DC, to kind of ask some further questions and dive deeper.
Got you, man. Got you. So, who would you say this project suits the best? Because obviously, we've got every type of investor in here. So, who would you say this project would suit the best in terms of, who would get the best use out of the utility, not necessarily the investment making money side?
Yeah, I would say someone who is somewhat familiar with DeFi projects knows that a sustainable APY is, of course, important, but also that there has to be a system that works together, right? So those rewards in BUSD or in native tokens have to be supported in some way. They're not just magically appearing. So I would say to understand who this is best for, it has to be someone who is interested at least in DeFi projects and also likes the fact that there's a NFT that has utility. So I would say kind of everybody, but I would say especially people that maybe had a little bit of a taste of DeFi projects and NFTs, but want something a bit more.
Okay. All right. It makes perfect sense. All right. So if you could say anything, what would you say the team would have to, if you could pick one thing that you would like to see the team improve on, what would it be?
That's a really great question, actually. That they could improve on, I would say, well, that is an excellent question. I would like to see a little bit more expanded out on the BUSD dividend piece because, of course, like I said, it's supported by the NovoSwap feature. But I think there is the ability as the project progresses to perhaps add in even more features to support the BUSD dividend element. It is supported. It is definitely supported, like I said, through the swaps, and it's also supported through the revenue generated through the mints, since you're going to be purchasing in BUSD. But I think that would be great to continue to support because as an investor, as someone kind of sitting on the sidelines, let's say that might be listening, it's a really tumultuous time, right? Most people are sitting on stable coins and they want to earn more stable coins and they're apprehensive to get into native tokens unless there's a large upside or something, especially different. So I would say doing that could potentially garner even more eyes and thus, people understanding the project and then maybe expanding from that. So that's the only thing I would say. Everything else I would say is quite well done, but also not by accident. This has been in production for many months now. So I guess there would be more to mention if this was kind of rushed and it was developed last month or so.
Got you, man. Understood. That's what's up, man. And what would you say something that the team is very proficient at? What would you say their greatest asset is? Whether it's their network, the way they talk to their community, the utility itself. What would you say their greatest asset is?
I would say utility. I would say utility because that's really what they're leading with. So instead of empty promises or even talking about it nicely, hearing me say whatever, that's okay, that's nice. But I get most excited when I'm representing projects when I have something to show. Which if you click on the launch tab, you're able to see all those things that we kind of, went over kind of briefly. You're able to see them for yourself. You're able to click on, for example, if you go to the Origin box, you're able to see kind of what these NFTs look like. And then, of course, when you connect your wallet and once it goes live, you're going to be able to mint those and know that they're, ultra rare. Some of them, there's actually the likelihood of getting them is broken down as well. I would just say the thoroughness is the big pull here. Everything's already available to be looked at. If you go to the actual white paper as well, you're able to get a pretty good breakdown of not just the reason behind these features, but also some mathematics behind it. For example, some good examples of, if I stake the minimum amount of Nobo tokens, what can I expect to get over the course of, multiple days or a week, how the invite system works. I think it's just very well explained, but not over wordy. And the other piece too is responsibility. So there's a whole risk warning page that this team generated. They didn't need to do this, but they did because they're professional, right? So this looks much more like what a business would do, basically saying, hey, we're not liable if your private keys get lost or something, if you give someone your seed phrase, or if there's vulnerabilities or bugs. Like obviously, this is a DeFi product. These kind of things are inherent, but it's good to have that as a disclaimer so people maybe think a little bit more or a little bit more safe about what they're doing, And of course, they even say here, there's risk with holding Nobo tokens. There's fluctuations, there's ebbs and flows. We can't necessarily control the price directly, but we can influence through delivering product, through proper marketing, through those type of channels. So I like to see this. This shows me the start of more responsibility, and then pairing this with actual utility being fleshed out and ready to go. I like that. I like to see that.
That's what's up, man. 100%, dude. And what would you say about how safe would you say this project is? Because you gave us a disclaimer earlier saying that we should, if we want to start off, get a new wallet that we don't have our assets in just to try it out. So how would you say the safety is overall?
I would say it's quite safe. You can never be too safe. That's why I always mention that, because we all know how even centralized exchanges, which have potentially millions of dollars to invest in safety, whether they do or not, it's another thing, that even those have been hacked, even those have had compromises. There's weird things that go on. So I like to say, just to be safe, connect with a new wallet first. If you like what you see, things are, going on as expected, especially as you get into launch, then yeah, of course, connect your main wallet or continue to use that test wallet and maybe move some funds over. I like to just be extremely safe whenever possible, and I like people that are listening or who would potentially want an idea of what to do to potentially do the same. That's what I would like suggest a friend do, for example. But in overall safety, I think me saying it's safe doesn't mean anything, because of course I'm partial. I try to be impartial, but I'm also of course partial. So I like to see external examples of safety being shown. So there's two different elements to that. So if we go to the actual PinkSale page, you'll see there's a couple different things here. The fact that it's a SAFU contract, which I'm not going to go into everything there. It doesn't guarantee that the project is safe, but it ensures that the actual contract address isn't touched by the team. It's touched by a trusted third-party developer that is a PinkSale developer, approved developer. That's one piece. There's more that goes into it, but I'll have you guys click on the SAFU details to see. The ones that I'm most concerned with is the audit and KYC. So you're actually going to see 2 audits and 2 KYCs. I opened them up here prior just for ease of use, but you see an audit first from Rug Free Coins, which is a medium audit. It's not a Certec, it's not a Solidity Finance, or something akin to that. But I do like to see, if you kind of skip down, there's obviously this is the whole audit here, but you'll see in summary, there's nothing like too crazy that's going on. There's nothing that like jumps out that's saying, hey, you're going to lose your money. There's going to be a vulnerability that could cause you to, lose everything effectively. Things can always happen, but I like to see that this was audited, right? There was another audit as well done by the same company, Rug Free Coins, but instead of the contract, they did an audit on the NFT mining, which is important, because if there's vulnerabilities in the hash rate for, let's say, one of the NFTs, then that could overhash, and now it's earning runaway Nobo tokens, which of course would crash the price. So I like that they did the responsible thing and audited both, even though some people might not even ask about it. They went ahead and did that ahead of time, and actually back in September. That's the cool thing. So they had plenty of time, to get this audit, and then on the back end, usually these audits will give the team some internal suggestions or some things they might want to change, and then they have ample time to do that. So they've had many months to do those fixes or any different suggestions. And again, I like to see that there was 2 audits. The second piece of security is KYC. It's know your customer. That's essentially saying the person that holds or generated the initial contract or is holding that contract is known in some capacity. And there's, of course, a KYC through PinkSale, directly through PinkSale, but also through an external partner, which is Cyberscope. So I'm happy to see they're not just relying on PinkSale, which is just fine. Of course, they have some good process, but I also like to see a separate company as well, just to add that extra little bit of security. So those 4 things in tandem with features already being built out gives me a little bit more security. But again, I like to be over secure. I've had the luck of never having, my wallets compromised or, connecting to a bad DApp, but I've definitely heard it happen. And there's a lot of, shifty stuff out there. There's a lot of fake sites. So just be very, very careful. But again, I like that the team is also getting ahead of that in their disclaimers, like we saw in the risk warnings.
That's what's up, man. I got you, dude. All right. So one thing I want to know is I see that you guys are partnered up with Pancake Swap. I'm sorry, not partnered up, but they're going to be competing with Pancake Swap. You know what I'm saying? And because this will be competing with Pancake Swap, what would you say the difference between Nobo Swap and Pancake Swap is?
Excellent question. So when I initially saw this, I thought the same thing. I was like, guys, why even bother? Right? Like, PancakeSwap is obviously much more trusted at this point because it's been around for much longer. People know it. It's something that we interact with on a weekly basis or monthly basis or whenever you do trades, right? How are we going to set ourselves apart? Well, they're actually working in unison with them. So on multiple different elements. So NoboSwap, first and foremost, is using the PancakeSwap API and deep liquidity pools. So it's basically using their technology to run in their dApp since it's open source. Now, the difference is NoboSwap is using automated slippage setting and also faster transactions because it's not needing to go through the entirety of the router. It's just needing to focus on select pairs. So it is faster. The slippage is automated. Now the difference and why they work in tandem is this piece with the buy sell tax on both sides. Now I'll start with the higher buy sell tax. PancakeSwap, where the liquidity is going to be added, is going to be a higher buy and sell. Buy is 12%, sell is 13%. 10% of that is going into feeding one of the utilities, which is the mine pool. Essentially, those NFTs are going to be paired up with Nobo tokens, and you're going to then be able to mine using the different hash rates of rarities based on rarity, and you're going to be able to earn these Nobo tokens. Well, you have to supply those Nobo tokens somehow. Part of it is a large allocation in the tokenomics to go towards rewards, but also you have to have an ongoing drip of tokens coming in to ensure that you don't run out of rewards. So that's where the PancakeSwap side comes in. Now, it's also broken down into some portion going into marketing, which is nice to see. I don't want to see a big portion go to marketing because that's going to be pretty big sell pressure. I don't really want to see that. So it's a nominal amount. It's still there, but it's not a crazy amount. Same thing on the sell. Same thing, but just 1% higher on marketing. On the Nobo side, I love to see this because not only is there an incentive to swap here versus PancakeSwap because the fees are less, 2% and 3% on the sell, and then on the buy 2%. You're getting those swaps cheaper, and it's borrowing from the BUSD that is being used to trade. So when you're doing a trade from BUSD to Nobo, it's taking 10% of whatever you're putting in and then distributing back into the ecosystem. 4% in the sense of buys and sells are going into the dividend pool, which we kind of mentioned in brief, where you're going to be able to stake Nobo tokens and earn actual BUSD stablecoins. And then 3% goes to marketing and 3% goes to the invitation system. Same on sell. So this, to me, is very important because this is going to be driving one of the core reasons why people might, at least initially, look at this project, earning stable rewards. Even if you don't actively hold tokens, you can still invite someone and earn BUSD rewards. This is great. I thought this was a really nice feature instead of just relying 100% on PancakeSwap. Both are important, but if this goes away, if people just absolutely don't trade on PancakeSwap, but they trade here, even better, more BUSD coming in. And since they have a really large, portion of the tokenomics going towards the mint, going towards the mining, they're able to sustain the rewards for quite a long time, and they're only going to be building out BUSD.
Got you, got you. And now, how is can people buy everything they would get from Pancake Swap on Nobo Swap?
That's a good question. To my understanding, it's going to be primarily select trading pairs. So it will be BUSD and Nobo. So yes, they're using the technology, but within that, you can make customizations such as slippage. You can add certain trading pairs. So I think they do want to have it be an in-house feel using the technology of PancakeSwap. So to my understanding, and I could be wrong here, to my understanding, it is just going to be that select pair of Nobo and BUSD, but they could always add as well as they start to get partnerships and the like.
Understood. Okay. All right. And let's talk about the liquidity. So how's the liquidity on Noble Swap?
Yeah. So to be honest, they want to look at what happens first with PancakeSwap because this is going to be coming shortly after. But the majority of liquidity is going to be added to PancakeSwap. It is locked as well. And they're going to have to be manually adding tokens to on both sides, of course, because it's an LP to NoboSwap. So if we look at what we're starting with, 60% is being added to liquidity. That's going to leave 40% left on raise. Now, with that 40% left on raise, they have a soft cap of 10,000 BUSD. They want to probably split this, part of it going into dividend rewards, and then part of it going into the actual NoboSwap as a seed. So to start with, put plain and simple, there's going to be less liquidity on NoboSwap, but it will grow. They're trying to push all traffic there, but they want to go to a decentralized third-party trusted source first to be able to have the deepest liquidity, and then from there migrate over as people get educated on the project into their own swap. So we'll start with slow growth, but it will grow as the project grows. So I would say I can't give an exact amount because it depends on how the fair launch goes, of course. It might oversubscribe. That's what they're trying to do, of course. And if so, it will still be a slow growth. It's not going to be at the same LP capacity as PancakeSwap.
Understood. Got you, man. So in terms of the team, when it comes to their ability to build a strong community, how would you say they are?
God, it sounds so cliche. That's a good question. I would say they're quite good. Not excellent yet, because for me, excellence is when you're seeing people flood in second by second by second by second, and there's a lot of FOMO. Now, can this team turn to be excellent in community growth as we get into the last couple of hours or even the last day? Yes. But right now, it's a slow growth. So, for example, what we saw from yesterday, our first AMA, through today, which is our third AMA with you guys, we've seen about just shy of 150 member growth. Now, if you go to the official page, you'll see we're just under 650. So it's not a botted channel. It's something that's organically grown since September or a little bit earlier. So I would say in the final hours, that's the true look into how is this project managing its community? What does growth look like? What is the trajectory? And then is it managed well? FUD will happen. Things will come up. Is it handled well? And in those critical moments, that's where I personally make a decision of how do I rate this project? Right now, I'm not going to say they're excellent because that's the true test, but I will say they're trending good, right? A decent growth in these last couple of days.
All right, that's what's up, man. And one thing I wanted to know about the team too is that anytime I see a team that's paying people out rewards, I'm always curious. Do you know if the team if they have the financial means to be able to support the project that they're making without their utilities and people buying and selling and filling up the marketing wallet supporting them? Like outside of that, do they independently just themselves have the money to be able to support this project? To your knowledge?
Yes. To my knowledge, yes, they do. This all came out of pocket currently. This was from just a profit that they had in prior Web 2 dealings and also tradings that they've done in Web 3 independently. They kind of pooled their resources and then came out of this out of pocket. A good measure of that as well to see is, was there any venture capital funding? Was there backroom OTC deals that are, seen? Was there a private sale? Was there, something like that happened, right? None. This is a full fair launch in its truest form. So if the team, and also no team tokens, right, from launch. So if that's the case, then if the team wants to buy in, they have to buy in fair launch. If people want to buy in that are whales that have been here since the start, they have to buy in since fair launch. So a lot of this money had to come from the team itself. Now, as far as the exact amount that they have left, I don't exactly know, but I can say that they really have their eye on seeding the lockup dividend with around 10,000, give or take. So they want to have something to put in to encourage people to start to earn stable rewards and bring more people in. Because once you bring more people in, then it becomes self-perpetuating through NoboSwap, as long as they're able to market that properly, because it's, there's less fees. and the project is directly earning BUSD that it can distribute back.
All right, appreciate it, man. And is there a best strategy that people can use to maximize their earnings?
Yes, and appreciate that you asked that as well, because this ties in directly to one of the features that we briefly went over, but I'd love to dive deeper into. So one of the, probably the most exciting feature here is the fact that you can have an NFT that has utility. So we kind of talked about it, right? There are these super limited NFTs, only 2,000 that are ever able to be minted, and they're going to have varying levels of rarity. Well, what does that rarity mean? Well, you can see here the rarity breakdown with, of course, rarer NFTs having a much lower probability of dropping in those loot boxes. They're going to have much higher APRs. So you can see here the base starting APR for a more common NFT would be about 146%, but you can actually see the ratio, or not the ratio, but the probability of dropping about a medium NFT is actually higher than the most basic one. So the range is going to fall more here, which I actually like. They didn't make the lowest APR being the one that drops the first. It's kind of in the middle, in around the lower 300s, right? So you can see here, this is the projected APR and the daily rate as well in Nobo tokens that you'd be able to earn. So something important here is you're creating an indirect need for Nobo tokens because you have to hold at least 1 million Nobo tokens with the upward limit of 10 million Nobo tokens per NFT that you would want to mine with. So when we're talking about ideal strategies, if you want to get your feet wet here, think about purchasing around 1 million Nobo tokens. How do you know how much that comes to? Well, you're going to need to see in the fair launch, of course, because as we get closer, numbers shift around, especially after it goes past the soft cap. It can oversubscribe, and then the amount changes. But you'll be able to see in Pink Sale as you make your contribution as we get closer. But this would be a starting point: 1 million Nobo tokens. And then from there, if you want to see even higher yields, you could go up to 10 million. There are some requirements as well to kind of try to create users that are better kind of stewards of the ecosystem, I guess you could say, where they're treating the ecosystem the way it should be. They're leaving their tokens and their NFT staked, they're earning rewards, and they're not abusing the system. You have to kind of do that through minimum staking periods, and that's what they're doing. But you are going to be able to earn, earn every 14 days effectively. Now, if you choose to remove prior to those 14 days, your NFT and your Nobo is burned. So that may happen a few times. It'll bring down the supply of the NFTs, and it'll also increase the amount of Nobo being purchased. But most people will be educated pretty fast, and they're going to know, hey, I want to keep my tokens and NFT staked, and I'm ready to earn some rewards. Now, what does that actually mean in the numbers? Let's take an example here. You stake the minimum 1 million Nobo tokens. I'm just going to take part of this example to just show like the entry level. You stake your Nobo NFT. Let's say this one, it has a hash rate of 10,000. The hash rate of 10,000, that would mean that you got this one, which you had a 20% probability of getting, pretty likely, versus some of the other ones, right? So, okay, you have that NFT, you're pairing it. You met the minimum requirements for Nobo tokens. Now let's calculate your actual earning potential. So what you could be earning per day would be about 10,000 Nobo tokens. Now extrapolate that out to 14 days, so 2 weeks, you'd be earning 140,000 tokens, and of course more if you choose to stake in more tokens. So this would be my suggested ideal amount of tokens to be able to purchase and pair with your NFTs. Obviously do your own research, but I think that's a good starting point to get the most out of this project possible. Talking about those NFTs as well, I did want to kind of just mention, what do they look like? Do I even like what these look like aesthetically? It's kind of important because, of course, we are in NFTs. This isn't just aesthetics, but it's nice to have something that is making you money and you like to look at. So you can see here, as far as the theming, they're going with these kind of futuristic, almost alien-like gems and minerals that are in these like little almost acrylic boxes, right? So these are going to be what are unlocking your mining potential alongside your Nobo tokens, right? So they are going to be ultra rare versions of these, going all the way up to ultra rare and then just normal NFTs. And there's only going to be 2,000 in total. Once the initial Genesis set is sold out, then they will only be able to be traded and also traded on third-party sites as well. But they're going to have a dedicated NFT marketplace built into the dApp, which is actually already available right here. So that would be just long form, bring it back. That would be my ideal strategy: is own at least 1 million, buy an NFT, or actually, even more strategically, don't buy an NFT, get one for free. Because this is something that's awesome. You can actually get one for free by inviting someone. So if you invite someone, not only do you earn 3% of all the BUSD that they are trading with on NoboSwap, but you get an NFT that has a APR or daily rate of 1% or yearly rate of 365%. And they also get an NFT with a lower APR because they're just starting out of 73%. So it's mutually beneficial. You will need to pair these with Nobo tokens, creating demand for the underlying token. And you don't even need to buy the NFTs if you don't want to. So I think this was pretty genius that they had elements of, free utility, but also still tied into needing the token to be paired in a minimum way to always create some sort of pressure for the underlying token.
Wow, amazing explanation. Great job, dude. But
Thank you.
yeah, man, there was another question I had, but it slipped my mind totally. Jesus, man. Well, we're about that 40-minute mark, so I forgot my next question. So without further ado, I can go ahead and turn it over to the community if that's all right with you, man.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you for the time and being able to explain this.
All right. Yeah, man, no problem, dude. Oh, why is it called Nobody's Finance?
Yeah, so I kind of just went over it like in brief, but I think it's good to come back to because it's a kind of a weird name, right? If we're being honest. So that was my first question, actually. So if we had to boil it down, it comes down to everyone is kind of a nobody in this space. We don't really know who each other are, right? We present ourselves usually through NFTs or through some extension of our personality, explained through art, explained through, projects, all sorts of different elements, right? But we are still estranged from each other in that sense. Projects also are the same. We don't really know the projects in depth. We might think we do, but we don't know everything about it. So within that space, that's kind of the world we're in, right? Especially on the fringes that we're still in the wild west of DeFi and crypto. So instead of kind of not embracing that, they went into saying, no, that is what things are, at least right now. So let's treat everyone with respect as a nobody, and let's make sure everyone is on an equitable playing field to earn rewards in a sustainable way. We're not going to do 2,000% APY, 5,000% APY and let this project crash. It's going to be sustainable, but also there's no insider elements here. There was no private sale. There was no like crazy team tokens or something like that. Everyone's on the same playing field and ready for launch in the next couple of days.
Gotcha, man. Well, we already got some hands up from our community. Let's go ahead and get to it.
Awesome.
All right, Greed, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask a question, man.
Hey, man. Thanks, DC. Hey, Adam.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Doing good. Yeah. My question is in regards with your project, since it's a DeFi trading system, DeFi financial system. So you'll be going all over the regulations. It's going to be like a sensitive topic on your end. How confident is the project, or how fast are you going to adapt to prepare for potential regulations in the long run?
Also a fantastic question, and actually something I flipped over quickly to the risk warnings, because it even actually is mentioned here that in certain countries or regions, we might not be able to provide services. Now, to begin with, they're not going the route of specifically blocking out countries on launch day. But if something were to come up where there's regulations or there's some eyes on things as things grow, especially as they reach multi-million-dollar market cap and they get like a lot of notoriety, well, then some pressure might be put on the project to say, hey, we need you to, exclude this country or for tax reasons or this or that. All I can say is the project's going to do what it needs to do to secure to secure investors, the bulk of investors. If that means excluding a country, then that might have to happen. But all I can say is, no one controls your access to the internet except for you. I mean, obviously in some countries, yes, but there's always a way, I guess you could say, to rebel or to define limitations to yourself.
Just call it
Now, I won't tell you. Yeah, I won't tell you what that is exactly, but I can tell you I use one for Netflix all the time. It's a VPN. You might be able to use similar technology, right? So there's always a way if you want, I should say.
I think that'll be it. Thanks, Adam.
Thank
thanks,
you.
DC.
Yeah, no problem, Greed. Thanks for coming up, big dog. All right, next up, let's go for Kadang Khan. All right, you can go ahead, man. Your mic is unmuted. You can go ahead and ask your question, sir. 1, 2, and 3. All righty. Let's go on to Ripper Mod. All righty, Ripper. Let's see what you got. Ripper, your mic is unmuted. 3, 2, and 1. All righty, Bobby Crypto. Bobby, go ahead and take it over, brother.
Yeah, hello, buddy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing just fine, man. What's your question, bro?
Yeah, my question is, as a side note, it might be a good idea with regard to incentivizing users to bring in more investors for the long-term sustainability of the Nobody's Finance. To have a leaderboard showcasing top inviters with special rewards to landing users. Has the team considered this?
I really like where your head's at with that, actually. So just to kind of harken back to one of the core features is these invitation rewards. This is going to be a pivotal point of not just flash in the pan marketing the project, but having a continuous grassroots effort to get people in. People tell their friends about things that are making them money, plain and simple. I can think of a few projects in my mind. I don't invest in too much, to be honest, but there's a few projects in mind that once I'm making money on it, once I feel good about us making a suggestion, I go wild with it. I'm like, hey man, I'm making good money on this. It's awesome. I've looked deeply into this. We're social creatures. We like to share wins and we want other people to win, right? Things might seem bleak sometimes, but people aren't inherently malicious, right? Most of us are good-natured and we want other people to win. So you should always do your own research. Don't just take recommendations blindly. But I say this because when we see a good project, it's kind of a diamond in the rough and we want to share that. If the project knows what they're doing, they build off that because they know that grassroots marketing is so powerful and you don't even need to spend much on it. And they did that here. They not only had a system where you can invite people and earn 3% of everything that they're trading on NoboSwap, but also they get an NFT and you get an NFT. That's like the perfect example of a win-win. Actually, it's a triple win type of environment where you're winning, the person you invited winning, and the project is winning because now they have a new investor or potential investor. Now, as far as leaderboards, I love that idea. I'm going to pass it over to the actual owner of Nobody's Finance because they might have something cooking up like that, but I personally haven't heard that just yet. So if they aren't, I want to make sure that gets added and that you get credit. So this isn't a ploy to get you to join, but I would say if you like the idea, definitely join because I want to make sure you get credit for that suggestion because I think that's pretty awesome.
Okay, thank you, buddy. And sorry, with upcoming potential regulations, they are building a DeFi trading financial ecosystem. How fast will they adapt? Should we face regulation, centralization, and government action taken to flush out the crypto projects from the DeFi space?
So I feel at this point I should be sponsored by a VPN, but I'm not. Just letting you guys know. But kind of like the last question that was asked. They're going to be very much focused on keeping up to date with regulations and anything that might pose a potential threat to the core community. So if they need to make adjustments, they will. But even if that adjustment is made, by the way, I live in the US. There's tons of things I can't access. I think at some point, I think 1inch or Unis, I think it was 1inch, wasn't letting me access it because they blacklisted my, IP because I live in the US, right? I think it was either 1inch or Uniswap. I can't remember, but there's ways to fix that. That's all I'll say. There's ways to fix it. As DC said, there's potential loopholes. I'll let you explore that and figure out the legality of that on your own. But this is still the cutting edge of technology. No one can hold you back unless you choose to have them hold you back, or there's a mutual understanding of why it would be beneficial to not be interested or choose to invest or be involved. So I can just say, yes, they are going to take the proper measures to legally make sure they're okay, but also there's many ways to still get access to your tokens or still get access to the DApp if you choose to.
Okay, yeah, and Adam, sorry, why are the NoboSwap and PancakeSwap tax structure different in terms of value, and what are they used for? Will the tax on PancakeSwap also be reduced in the future, like for NoboSwap?
Yeah, this is a good review of kind of like what we mentioned earlier. So you see that right here on the page, PancakeSwap and NoboSwap transactions are different. So the big reason why is they actually fund different parts of the project. So on PancakeSwap, where the majority of the liquidity is going to be added, you're going to be seeing a lot of the token rewards being supported through the trading there. So you can see the transaction fees are higher, but there's more liquidity. So there might be some bigger whales moving in, doing some trades, and thus the tokens from that are going into the actual mining incentives to be able to pay those out. Now, people who learn more about the project maybe on day 2 or 3 of discovery after they invested their first initial bag and they're learning about the project, of course they're going to want to save fees. We're always looking for ways we can save money. They're going to go to NoboSwap, integrated into the DApp, and do all of their trading there. When that happens, it is a gold mine for the project because now the project is earning in BUSD, 4% going to the dividend pool, 3% going to marketing, 3% going to the inviting system that we talked about. That's where we want to shift people to. So we get people interested by deep liquidity and a well-known third-party entity such as PancakeSwap, and then migrate them into an internal system, less liquidity, but much more beneficial for the project growth and also the ecosystem. Now, to your later question, will they be lowered to be the same? Probably not. Sorry, go ahead.
Yo, thank you so much. And sorry, bro, I'm from Iran, and sadly, most similar platforms like PSwap are collecting IPs, and they don't allow me to use their platform. Do you have the similar restriction about specific IP like Russia or Iran?
Not that I've seen yet, but again, they want to stay agile in that sense. So if something comes up, they may need to, but I would highly, highly suggest investing in a VPN and maybe explore some of its benefits. I think it would be a great value add for you, just as an idea.
Okay, and also this is a suggestion. Is it possible to have some future on select tokens?
Bobby, we gotta give the suggestion to your DMs. Because, brother, you ask some great questions, but we can't just be here all day because it's like literally like 20 hands in here. All right, brothers, thanks for coming up. I appreciate you and great questions.
Thanks, Bobby.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Thanks, DC. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day.
You too, man.
And guys, when I talk over top of you, stop talking because it's for a reason when I do that. Okay. I'm going to mute the next person who does that. All right, Sujay, let's go ahead, brother. Sujay, go ahead and ask your question, sir. The floor is yours and your mic is unmuted.
Hey, DC. Thank you so much. Hey, Adam. How's it going?
Hey, man. Good. Thank you.
Hey, sorry, man. Sorry again. Wish TG didn't kick me out every time you muted me. But thank you so much,
you're
DC.
good. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So my question was, with the dividend contract, right? I see first of all, I like the idea that you have a POL and you have PancakeSwap, and I think it's pretty unique that you have different tax structures and different breakups of where the taxes are going. So that's great. What I wanted to know is, when I lock my Nobo tokens in the dividend contract, Now I see the calculation. It's tokens you've staked versus the tokens in the contract multiplied by the BUSD in the contract. That's what you get. But when is that calculation exactly happening? Is it happening on the third day when I'm supposed to get the dividend, or is it happening on a daily basis? Because the volume or the amount of tokens and the amount of BUSD in the contract is going to be constantly fluctuating based on who is removing and who's taking and choosing not to stake or add more to their stake tokens and stuff like that. So when does that calculation happen?
Oh, wow. That's a fantastic question. I'm going to give the answer that feels intuitive to me, but I'm going to field that more to the owner because I want to get a really in-depth answer. So I'm actually going to DM you the answer fully to that, but I'm going to go with the one that feels right to me based on what I have from the team. So I'm going to say after. So once your vesting is matured and you're able to actually get your dividend, that's when it's calculating. The only reason why I say that is because they're putting in a seed amount into the dividend lockup. So if they calculate it at the beginning or even like at potentially like every day, you're not going to get too much, especially if it's like at the beginning. Now, if it's every day, of course, you're going to actually get more. But my feeling is that it's going to be at the end. But let me get back to you on that because I don't want to give you a for sure and then it's something else. So let me dive a little bit deeper into that because I think it genuinely is a fantastic question. Let me find out a better answer for you.
Yeah, no problem. Definitely. And just related to that, until the taxes start flowing into the dividend contract, are you planning to like initially deposit BUSD to begin with, and how much is that going to be, and will that come from percentage of the fair launch?
Yes, exactly. It's exactly that. So they have a roundabout number of up to 10,000. So that's based off the soft cap from the actual raise. So they want to deposit around that amount. Obviously, if it oversubscribes and things go well, as they have planned with marketing and continued exposure, if it oversubscribes, great. But they want to have around that 10,000 mark as an initial deposit, and then of course, it goes from there from the NovoSwap contributions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Adam. You speak really well to the project, and appreciate your answers.
Thank you so much. That was one of the best questions I've had probably in the last month. So thank you. Very good.
Absolutely. Wonderful, Sujay. Love having you here. Always with the great questions, man. All righty. Now let's bring someone else up. Let me go to the bottom. Let me grab somebody off the bottom. Let me get Sir Trust over here. All right, Sir Trust, your mic is unmuted. You can go straight on ahead, man.
Thank you very much, DC, for the privilege. So let me go straight to my question. When I go through the supply, I discovered that a larger percent was going to the NFT. So I want to know the reason why the larger percent of the circulation supply is going to the NFT. Another thing, I discovered from the website that you can sell and you can buy your NFT at any time. Does it mean that you don't need to look for a buyer to sell your NFT? If you have an NFT, you can sell your NFT at any time in the market. So I want explanation on that.
Yes, definitely. So first of all, why is a large portion going towards the NFTs? It's a very important question to answer. So as you can see here in the distribution chart, a large portion is going to the NFTs, not just like partially, but a lot, actually in two phases here. So first stage and then second stage. This is going to be for the mining rewards that are directly related to the NFT that you're going to be minting. So if we remember what we talked about earlier, you're going to take your NFT, you're going to pair that with a proper amount of Nobo tokens, minimum being 1 million, maximum being 10, and then you're then going to be able to start mining. Well, those rewards have to come from somewhere, and they're going to be coming from the allocation from the tokenomics that's given for the actual mining. So that kind of explains like what that is for, why that's earmarked for that. The second piece to your question is, okay, I got a really rare NFT with a crazy high hash rate. It looks cool too. Can I list it right away? Yes, of course. So you're buying it with BUSD. You're not buying with Nobo tokens. You're buying it with BUSD. That BUSD, just to understand the journey, that BUSD is then going in to supporting the lockup dividend. But then you can list your NFT whenever. So once it goes live, you're going to be able to list it for whatever price you want. Now, let's say you list it for, I don't know, like $1,000 or something, $2,000, right? To my understanding, the project will take a small percentage of the sale, but you'll get the bulk of it. So it's not like if you're selling it, you're losing out on half the cost. The project will get a small percentage to further increase the dividend lockup payout, but you'll be getting the majority of it. And you are able to list that immediately once that feature goes live, which, to be honest, I don't think is going to be too far off of launch. Because they already have everything built out. They just need to have the contract go live, add the LP, and then you'll be able to see updated numbers on the dashboard and start to mint. So hopefully that answers your question. That's a good one as well, because I want to know, like, if I get something really rare, do I have to wait 3 years to list it? Or, that's exaggerated, but do I have to wait 2 months, 3 months? I can think of into NFT projects that were related to DeFi as well, that I bought something and I got a really rare one. I forgot about it, and then by the time I was ready to list it, it was worth nothing. So if I get something rare, not only do I want to be excited about it, maybe I'm mine with it, but also I want to have the opportunity to sell it and then maybe use those assets in some other way. So hopefully that gives you a good answer on that.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you, DC. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Wonderful question, man. Good job, bro.
Thank you.
Cool. All righty, let's go to the top again. Let's get Reese James. And guys, we're at the point now. All right, we've been here for about an hour. We got about 20 hands up still. All right, let's keep it to one question, guys. Okay, one question. All right, Reese, go ahead, man. You are up.
Hello, DC. What's up?
What's up, bud? How you doing, man?
I'm fine, bro. Hello, Adam.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I would want to appreciate you guys for what you're doing and what you bring into the space. It's really an interesting one. But just went through your website now. I was going through something where it says I could mint your Noble NFT. So I want to know quickly, how many NFTs could I mint in a day? Like when trying to mint it, we have different minting sites where there are multi-minting sites. How many could I mint in a day, and how many could I mint in a day? And during your NFT, you guys have a situation whereby communities have to make some kind of tokens about it or some kind of decision about it. You get my question?
I do, and I just wanted to comment on the overall questions that have been given here. Really good questions, guys. So thank you, including yours, Reese. So there is no limit on the amount that you can mint. It is going to be very much first come, first serve. These are very limited NFTs, only 2,000 ever that will be available and out for distribution. So you better believe if someone wants to buy, 100 of them, they can. And they're probably going to list them on the NFT market after. So this is going to be something that can create some I would say pretty warranted FOMO, because again, if you own any of the NFTs, but especially the rarer ones, you're earning a nice amount of rewards. And those rewards are being supported, but also the BUSD side is supported as well, as people are buying tokens to use these NFTs, because you can't just use the NFT natively. You also have to buy corresponding tokens to be able to activate them, I guess you could say. So yeah, there's going to be no limit at all there. And I was trying to remember. Oh, the second piece, you were asking kind of in some way, you were asking about governance essentially. Or I should say more of like a DAO system. There isn't any talks right now about implementing a DAO vote, but I can say I wouldn't be surprised if a team like this that is pretty well developed and already has their things out in the open here introduces something like that. Now, just throwing ideas out there, but I wouldn't be surprised if it would require you own an NFT, because you can get an NFT for free, again, by inviting someone, which is showing involvement. It's showing more interest. So if you own an NFT and also tokens, you'll probably be given the ability to vote. I'll let the team decide there, but that would be my thoughts and my suggestions. But right now, where things stand, it's important to look where we're at right now. There is no DAO system. So there's no hybrid DAO or standard DAO system. It's going to be 100% based on team decision. But if you do want your voice heard, just like we heard in some of the questions today and suggestions, join the official Telegram. I think that's a great kind of way to wrap too. Join the official Telegram. Please give your suggestions there. You know, say what you think about the project. Maybe if you have some additional ideas, or maybe you're excited, that costs you nothing, right? You can always go in, see what you think, and then if you're very interested in it, of course, we have the fair launch opening up in less than 2 days now. But hopefully that answers your question on the NFT side.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. I would appreciate it. I would really want to tell you, I'm a lover of NFT though. So what you just told me now, I'll quickly hop down there and chat on space. Thank you very much, DC.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Reese, you're always welcome, man. You're always welcome. Let's go back to the bottom. Let me go to the middle. Let me get 1 million. Okay, 1 million. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, can you hear me?
Just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my question is regards to the invitation rewards. What are your plans to avoid investors to use multiple wallets to bind the invitation link?
You're getting some feedback there. There is no there's nothing holding you back from doing that. In fact, if you're smart, I would suggest doing that, right? So if you're interested in buying after launch, right? Like let's say you got into fair launch and you're like, oh yeah, like I might buy some more. Don't buy from your main wallet. Like invite yourself, get free NFTs, and then also earn on that trade. I mean, that's just my suggestion. I mean, that's what I would do personally. Now, does the project want people to do that at scale? No. But also, even if they do, it's still beneficial. It increases holders count. It increases people's buy-in because now they have NFTs when they wouldn't normally. It's actually pretty beneficial. So do what you will, but personally, I would do that. Any opportunity that's given to you, I like to take. So that would be something that I would personally do.
Okay, that's fine. I really like the project. But what has been the biggest challenge in developing the mobile?
Sorry, brother. We got to do one question.
That was a good first one, though.
That's the rule I just said. Absolutely. You guys got to make sure that, guys, stay respectful, okay? We got to respect Adam's time. We got to respect the other people who have questions in here. And then we have to respect the people in the comments, okay? You guys listen. All righty. Let's go ahead and get Zuel. Zuel, you were up. Go ahead, brother. Ask your question.
Hey DC, what's up?
What's up, man? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the great opportunity. Yeah, I've been listening to the AMA, and that's a great presentation. So let me just go ahead with my question. Yeah, so I just want to know if users can be able to choose their preferred earning method in the Nobody's Finance ecosystem. And lastly, I want to know when the Noble NFTs origin box is open, can we be able to spend some, let me say at least maybe 100 BUSD to get a random Noble NFT?
So if you can repeat that first part, the second part I got, but I just want to make sure I understand the first part.
Okay, I said, can users be able to choose their preferred earning method in the Nobody's Finance ecosystem?
Oh, okay. Earning method. Gotcha. Yeah, I got that. I'll start there. For the earning method, no, it is set. Just like the white paper lays out and like was explained, it is set to be earning in kind in Nobo token, the main utility token here, when you're mining. Now, when you're choosing to earn from your Nobo tokens, then it's always going to be in BUSD. So you're not going to be able to choose like, well, do I want BUSD or do I want Nobo? That is done on purpose because they want both sides to not only be supplied with fresh tokens coming in, to support the rewards. But also, if you imbalance it, like let's create a hypothetical, just a quick one. Both of the feature sets are earning you BUSD. You're earning BUSD by inviting, you're earning BUSD by locking up, you're earning BUSD by mining. If that's the case, you're going to run out of BUSD very fast. And now you don't have a project. Now, inversely, Nobo rewards for everything. For locking up Nobo, you earn Nobo in kind, you're mining Nobo, and you also earn Nobo for inviting people. That's a crash waiting to happen. So balancing it out is a great method if it's done correctly. You have to balance in the right ways. So when you're inviting people, you probably shouldn't give out like tokens. You should probably give out a BUSD reward. So that way, if people like the project, they're then potentially using the BUSD to buy in. If you're earning Nobo tokens through mining, what are you going to do with that? You're going to lock them up, which further perpetuates things. So it's one of those things that it's a fine balance, and it only comes from trial and error, but also experience and a quality team that's willing to actually put these things forth and test them. So yeah, hopefully that kind of answers your question. The second part, if you can repeat one more time, I think there was a second element to that.
Yeah, I said when let's say for example now when the Noble NFTs, the Noble NFTs origin box is open, can we be able to spend at least 100 BUSD to get a random Noble NFT?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. It is going to be static in BUSD, so you're not going to be able to spend in another currency. But your question is, what's the amount going to be? That is going to be set after launch. So the reason why is they want to look at like what the average spend is for users. They want to look at like what type of users there are. And again, since the name lends itself to being for everyone, for all the nobodies in the world, right? Which is kind of funny, but also true. They want to make a lower price floor. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see 100, or maybe even lower, but probably closer to the 100 or around that range. That also increases the amount of buyers that potentially come in because they see it as valuable, meaning that they're earning more than 100 or even more than 200 on an NFT. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're priced low, but they resell high. But you'll know the exact amount after launch.
Yeah, that's amazing because actually you stated something that we can be able to hype the NFTs up. So after it's been hyped up, can we be able to sell those NFTs as
Hey
as higher
brother, hey brother, you can hit him up in his DMs and ask that. All right.
Okay, it's all good. No problem.
Thanks, Zoo.
All righty. Thank you, sir, for coming out. All right, let's get Zainab in here. Zainab, go ahead. I'm unmuting your mic. Go straight on ahead.
Hello, DC. How are you?
Doing just fine. Thanks for asking.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yep, go straight on ahead.
Okay. So, what is the process for participating in the BUSD Dividend Rewards and Invitation Reward programs, and how are these rewards distributed to users?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's actually pretty straightforward. So to earn BUSD rewards, there's two different ways. I would say the primary, most facing way is going to be through the actual lockup dividends. So like you can see in the DApp here and also in the white paper, it's as simple as lock up your Nobo, which also, by the way, has to meet the minimum threshold of 1 million Nobo tokens, just like the NFTs. Lock up your Nobo and earn BUSD. It's as simple as that. And you're going to be able to see actual statistics here and everything once the project launches and once you connect your wallet. But it's as simple as that. The other way, which I think is excellent that they included this, is you can also use your specialized referral link and earn 3% of the trading in BUSD that happens in NoboSwap from anybody you invite. Now that's great because you can actually get BUSD for free and then distribute that into the lockup dividend to earn, you can use that to buy the token and then earn more long-term BUSD as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can earn here, but that's the primary BUSD way of earning.
Yeah. And about 80% of total supply is allocated for NFT mine pool. Why is there a need for 10% of a taxes? And
Excuse me, Zainab. We do one question.
A lot of excitement, right?
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Zainab.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. All right, let's go to Bigo. Bigo, go ahead, brother. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, brother. So let me just go straight to my question. So my question is when the Noble NFT origin box is open, how much do I need to spend before I get the Noble NFT? And what are going to be the commission for inviting people in the Noble swap? And is there any other thing I need to do again before I get the rewards for the invite? You got the question?
Hey, Bigo, we're going to go repeat the first question because we're doing one question so we can get everybody. First question.
Okay. So my question is when the Noble NFT origin box is open, how much do I need to spend before I get the Noble NFT?
Yes. So there's a lot of excitement around like, how much do I need? I want to make sure I have enough ready to go. That is going to be announced right after launch. You'll hear from the official team. If you are interested in that, what I would definitely suggest, and this is a great time to remind folks listening to do, is make sure you're joining the official Nobody's Finance official TG. Now, the team at Safe Haven, as always, pin that information. So that's in the announcement page. Go there, join the official page, and then after launch, you're going to be able to see exactly how much you're going to need to be able to purchase that first mint. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Thanks for answering my question.
Of course.
Thank you, sir, for coming up. Appreciate you. All righty, let's go to Shazam. All right, Shazam, you can go ahead, brother. What is your question? Shazam, your mic is unmuted, sir. You can go ahead. All right, I got to move on. All right, let me go to Sniper Guy. Sniper Guy, what's up, man? Go ahead, bro.
Hey, hello, I'm audible?
Yep, go ahead, sir.
Give me the opportunity to ask my question.
Yep, go ahead, man. You're welcome.
Yeah. So my question is, does the Noble smart contract have the ability to mint extra tokens? Like said in your white paper, your project have its own Noble swap. So I just want to know the features, like what Noble swap will be able to do. You got a question?
Yes, it's a good question. So being that it's pulling from PancakeSwap technologies and their liquidity pool, there's not going to be the ability to, I guess you could say, like mint extra tokens or anything like that. That wouldn't actually be the part that would do that anyways. That would more be the core contract that would potentially be flawed to create extra minting. But you should never trust me, not just me, but anybody, whether they're the core team or me or anyone that's telling you that. Look for yourself, verify for yourself. How you can do that is through the audit from a trusted party. So you could actually see the audit that we went through earlier when we were talking about the security elements there. And one of the security checks is, extra mints. So no, you're not going to be able to do that, which is very important. And think of NoboSwap as more of a way to pay less fees, still get your Nobo tokens, and also help support the project on the BUSD side.
Yeah. Thanks for answering my question. But I do got more questions to add, but I'm going to add to your Telegram without wasting much of your time. Yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
me.
I appreciate that. Of course.
All right. Appreciate you, Sniper. Good questions, man. Thank you for asking. That was a great question, man. Let's get Sir Justino. All right, Sir Justino, you can go ahead, sir. Ask your question. And then I'm going to look into the comments before I come back to the VC. Sir Justino, your mic is unmuted. You can go ahead. 3, 2, 1, and moving on.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, man.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my question will be based on the feature of this project. So what are the plans you have put in place to make this project for the long run, not for the short period?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is not just kind of empty marketing. Hey, we're going to be on a ton of AMAs. We're going to have a bunch of influencers. I promise it's going to be the biggest launch ever. I think people are smart enough to know that like it can't just be hype. It has to be utility focused. So I would say what we talked about today, through all the different utility means, is what people are going to care about, with a special focus on BUSD rewards being a core element. I would say combining those elements in a sustainable way, which I believe nobody's has here, and hopefully you guys have started to look into that as well to make your own decision. That paired, with good marketing and proper planning around CMC listings, CoinGecko listings, and the like, can get recognition boosted even further past launch. So suffice to say, they had their marketing handled, but also they're going to get a constant drip of marketing money in the form of BUSD. It's very, very important. They're also going to be getting Nobo tokens to use for marketing, but they're getting more BUSD than Nobo tokens to market with. So, of course, they're going to use that first. So I love to see that because that means that follow-up calls can happen. Maybe even follow-up AMAs. Would love to be back here if you guys will have us to be able to show, hey, look, people are earning, we're growing exponentially. People are loving the ability to mine. There's already been, X amount of NFTs traded. All those things can happen once a utility is brought to the forefront and tested, and then you also have utility that ties into further marketing growth through the transaction taxes.
Okay, thanks for the answers. That's my question. Thanks, DC.
You're welcome, sir. Appreciate you for coming up, dude. All right, and Jake wanted to know, why isn't there team information on the website?
I would say because they are anonymous. So they're all running by code names like Mr. Show, Lancer. So it's one of those things like it would just be a bunch of N logos and then a code name. So instead of that, they said, you know what, like a normal business, we're going to have a spokesperson. We're going to invest money in having someone research our project deeply as a investor would, and then bring it to the forefront. Now, something that they didn't necessarily say I could do, but I do anyways, is I also like to give improvements. I also like to be upfront with potential risks or things people might want to look into deeply without, necessarily disparaging the brand. Those are things as well that speak honesty to a brand. So I would say, no, you're not going to see, hey, here's the head of operations, here's the CEO. That's kind of also tied into the name. So everyone is kind of kept and respected for their privacy, and the team is kind of, leading with that as well.
All righty. That's what's up, Jake. I hope you heard your answer. There it is. All right, Anderson, you're up. Go ahead, brother.
All right, yeah, thanks, DC. So yeah, real quick, I'm good. My question, or more like a suggestion, would be more on the marketing side. Did hear you say something about having regular AMAs and influencers, to further market the project. But then I was kind of like thinking, like the best way I feel you could market a project is by being visual. Now, what am I saying? More like, have you thought of like maybe like having a T-shirt, and then you brand the T-shirts with the socials, having the TG website, the Telegram website, and everything on the T-shirts, and it's humane for someone to just see it and quickly want to look that up on the internet and get more acquainted with the project. So it's just more like a suggestion. I don't know what you think about it.
Well, yeah, and any unconventional way, I guess you could say, of marketing is always welcome, as long as it passes all the kind of checks of the project. The only pushback I would give there, just thinking from a project standpoint, is if I send you a shirt, right? If I send you a shirt in some way, I'm going to know some identifying information about you, whether it be a wallet address if you're paying in crypto, whether it be your actual address if I don't have like a Shopify front or something akin to that. So I don't know if that would necessarily be the first focus for the project, but I like the idea. I think that that line of thought is very powerful of how do we get the word out to everyday people. And I think also package it up, just thinking from a marketing sense, package it up in a way that makes sense. It's not crypto jargon. It's saying, earn, 3%, dollars for every person you invite or something. Don't talk about stable coins. Don't talk about, none of that stuff. And then have a QR code, like you said, in some element, maybe in a flyer or something that they can scan and get a walkthrough diagram. I love that. That is the proper line of thought to have when you're thinking about bringing new people in, because right now, effectively, we're marketing to the same people, filtered, and unfortunately, as months pass, more people get rugged, more people get money stolen, and there's less trust and less trust and less trust. In a way, it's good because projects that do have utility stand out more, but also you have to do a lot to earn that trust, which is fair, but also it's nice to have new people enter the space, but also in a way that they're not getting into a project for the first time and it's a rug. So I would say there is something there, but I would leave it to the team to kind of explore a little bit more. But I think that's a fantastic idea for sure.
Yeah, that's great, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the suggestion, bro. That's lit. That's a good suggestion
for sure.
to make. Let's go to Black Adam. Alrighty, Black Adam. Go ahead, sir. Black Adam, we are waiting on you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, actually, I have a few concerns, like the cap on the number of BUSD that a user can earn may not be sufficient to cover the opportunity cost of locking up their Nobo for 14 days. And also the BUSD earnings in the lockup dividend contract depend on the volume of transactions on the Nobo swap. So if there is a low activity on the Nobo swap, I think the BUSD earnings may be insufficient to sustain the dividend pool. So what do you think about these concerns I have?
Well, it's a very valid concern. As all projects, I would say, for the most part, unless they're running on some sort of real-world utility tie-in from an existing company or some sort of asset in the non-crypto space, they are 100% dependent upon volume. Now, especially here when it's a core piece of the utility, you're right. If volume dries up, where's the BUSD going to come from? It has to come from somewhere. So what I was happy to hear, and this came through asking the project and kind of vetting them, is that they're going to be seeding that initial dividend lockup, which is great. They're going to be seeding it with, they're shooting for around 10K. After that, it is 100% up to marketing, word of mouth, and proper incubation of the community to ensure that not only are they using NoboSwap, but also they're spreading the word in it and they're reaching more communities to ensure that there's always people coming in. Now, once you create like a critical mass of people coming in, then you're educating people, you're having them use NoboSwap primarily, the liquidity is building, and now you have an environment where that dividend is supported more. Now, of course, that's speculation. We have to actually see what happens, but I do appreciate that they're starting things off with a seed of the dividend versus hoping that everything plays out and then there's no actual BUSD to, get the gears turning, basically.
I completely agree with you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Man, good questions, man. Seriously.
I know, right?
Got some smart people here, man.
Yeah, I know, right, man? Let me see. Let me get Shazam. All right, Shazam. Here goes your next chance. Here you go.
Hi DC, how are you?
Just fine. How about you?
Okay, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the low threshold, it allows for small investors, which is nice. But are there measures to prevent big players from draining too much from the pool percentage-wise?
Good
Also,
question.
good question. As far as I'm seeing, not explicitly, because it is luck based in the sense of when it comes to Nobo token. So the most critical piece that could potentially be a threat would be the Nobo token getting oversent to people. You still have a luck of the draw when it comes to minting. So if you're a whale, you still need to buy and mint just like everyone, just like me, just like someone who's putting in $10. Everyone has to mint. Now, let's say a whale does get a NFT that is rare, or maybe they buy it on the open market after, right? Someone's selling it. Okay, great. So they spend some money there. That money's going back, recirculating back into the project, but now they bought it. Well, they still have to pair tokens up to be able to have it actually do anything. So they're going to be market buying again, Nobo tokens, or if they bought in the fair launch, then they have tokens there. Is there any limitation? No, there's no mint limit. It's completely first come, first serve. So we could reach a situation where some whales own a couple rare NFTs. They're minting a bunch of tokens. But in that sense, there's still the lockups that are required and needed to be able to ensure that once someone mines for a couple of days, you're not having a major dump in day 2 or 3. Now, the other thing that's important as well is, especially after launch, when new people are coming in and there's a constant flow of new investors, the actual amount of people that are going to be unlocking at the same time is going to be varied. So everyone's not going to be unlocking at the same time, because maybe the first time that happens, but then the team can come in and deposit a little bit more BUSD, do something special to kind of build an extra surge. But after that, it's completely random, because people are locking in at different times. So that 14-day mark can be completely different for different people. So then you have variation. So I would say in that sense, it's mitigated in some sense, but there is still a potential risk for whales. So I think when it comes to whales, that's when you do proper community management and you say, okay, this person identified as a whale, or they're asking a bit more questions. Maybe you reach out to them, or more preferably, they reach out to you and you put a message out there, and maybe you create a whale group. And you say, hey, like, we know everyone here wants to see the project grow. You're more than happy to sell, but let's be responsible with it, and you manage whales. That's what you want to do. That's kind of the whole point of deep liquidity, is not only to protect investors, but also to create a space for people to feel okay if you're a whale to come in and trade. But you also have to have something that keeps them there, more than just the money. The money is the biggest driving factor, but you also have to have a reason why they would stay, whether that's prestige, a special group, insider information, whatever it is. I would say less so towards the insider information, because we're trying to keep things as equitable as possible. But I would say deeper education would probably be needed for them to make sure that no risk happens to the project. But again, it could happen. It's good to think about it, but we'll have to kind of see as we launch where it takes us. But that's a very good question.
Good work. Awesome, man. Thanks,
Okay,
Shazam.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Mr. K wants to know how long the liquidity is going to be locked on Pink Sale.
Very good question. If you look on the Pink Sale actual list page here, you'll see that it's for 365 days. Now, after that's done, then of course they can relock on PancakeSwap, or probably more so if they've done a proper job in doing this, they'll just move liquidity over to NoboSwap.
All right, Mr. K, you have your answer, and let's move over to Esra. Esra, go ahead. Your mic is being unmuted. Boom, there you go. Go ahead, Esra. Esra, your mic is unmuted. You can go ahead and ask your question. All righty, moving on. Alina. Got a lot of ladies like to come to the Safe Haven.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
It's because of my luxurious voice is why.
That might be it, man.
Absolutely. All right, Alina, go ahead. All righty, moving on. Let's go to Nita. All right, Nita, go ahead. Nita, your mic is unmuted. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, how are the Novo NFTs distributed through the Origin box and what determine the probability of receiving a particular series NFT? Thank you.
Yes, and that one's actually a good little review. So if you go to the white paper and go to the Nobo NFT little section here, you're able to see the actual probability distribution. But essentially, all you're going to need to do is pay a flat fee, which is going to be determined after launch, to be able to mint your NFT. And then based on the rarity, you're going to be given that NFT in a random manner. Now, you can also, of course, earn them for free, but only these two NFTs. If you choose to invite someone, you'll earn an NFT that can earn up to 365 APR, and the person you invite will also get an NFT that's earning 73% APR or 0.2% per day. So that's essentially how that distribution will work. It's also going to be explained pretty thoroughly in the community as well, which just is a little reminder, definitely join so that way you can ask further questions or kind of get more insight into. But it's going to be on a random basis, and you are going to need to pair these tokens up with Novo tokens to activate them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely appreciate you coming up. See if we got any more in the comments section. Let me see. Martha Idris wants to know what kind of challenge may arise in the future that can cause you not to implement some of the things you have said or that can cause you to have a change of plan.
Well, I would say with that, I don't know if there's going to be anything because all these features are coming right after launch. So there's nothing really promised that, oh, we're going to be releasing this in 2023, like in 7 months. This is all ready to go. So I would say nothing from what I'm seeing. It's a very rare thing because most projects say, oh, we're going to be releasing our metaverse in 7 months and whatever. Those are potential risks. You never get to that, but all this stuff is ready to go.
Alrighty, there's your answer. Jason, what up, yo? Let me see what Jason got to say. Let's hear it. All right, Jason, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, my question is about 80% of total supply is allocated for NFT mine pool. Why is there a need for 10% of tax on PancakeSwap for NFT mine pool? Why not make it same as on NobuSwap with tax for dividend pool, inventory reward, and for BSD reward? Thank you.
Also, fantastic question. So it's more for long-term viability. So if you're just looking at emission pulled from here, it's a lot, but also it's not going to last forever, right? It's not going to last for into 5-10 years from now, right? Or even in the shorter term, like a year from now. You want to make sure that no matter what, you have the ability to support through tokens. Now, if those tokens need to be used for the mint mine, to my understanding, they're allocated for it, so they can't really do anything other than that. But it also looks good as well when there's an ample amount of rewards to be able to be had. Because on the dashboard, you're going to be able to see, hey, I can mint this amount of, not mint, but mine, this amount of tokens at this hash rate, and here's the total amount of rewards still available. So I think visually it'll show something that's a little bit more enticing, but also long-term viability as well. Instead of having those tokens go to the marketing team or otherwise, they wanted to make sure to still support a core feature of the ecosystem.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Boom. We can go to this comment section real quick. See if we got any more questions down here. Let me see. Jake already had a question I don't want to ask. Same thing again. Alrighty. Well, I just picked somebody from out of here. Nuclear. Go ahead, and you, the two people here after you, are going to be the last people I pick, and we'll be done with it. We'll hit to the giveaway. Go ahead, Nuclear.
Hello, sir. Hi,
What is
everyone. Can I
going on?
ask question?
Yep, you can go straight on ahead.
Okay, my question is, about 80% of total supply is allocated for NFT mine pool. Why is there a need for 10% of taxes on PancakeSwap for NFT mine pool? Why not make it same as on NoboSwap with tax for dividend pool inviters reward and for BUSD rewards? Have you got my question?
Yes, and we actually just answered in the last one, but I'll take the last piece just as an extension. So the reason why it's not the same as the NoboSwap transaction tax is because that's on purpose. We want to educate people and push them into trading on NoboSwap, which does have less liquidity, but we want that to grow. We want to have the incentive to trade on there because it's up to 3%, or sorry, 3% less, and it's directly supporting the BUSD dividends of the project and also the marketing efforts of the project in BUSD. So that offset is on purpose. And then the other part of your question we just answered, but that is a part that I wanted to revisit, was the reason for the differences.
All righty. There you have it.
Okay, thank you so much. Best of luck for your project.
Thank you.
Hey, look, thank you for coming up here and asking that question. We appreciate this. Man, we have a lot of women here. All right, Fiza, go ahead. Ask your question. Oh, I muted the wrong person. Hold up. All right, let me go to Asian Glamour. All right, there you go. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask your question, Asian. All righty, moving on. Let's go to Fizza. Fizza, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask your question. All righty. Well, let's go ahead and get to the giveaway then. So I've narrowed it down, and because Adam says it's the best question he's had in months, and because it stood out to me, we have to give the best question to the honorary Sujay.
That was great. Good
Nah,
job.
the whole chat already knew. They were already saying it.
Yep. We have to give it to Sujay. All
Let's
right.
go, Sujay.
All right. And now we are going to the, of course, man. You're welcome, Sujay. You are welcome, sir. You know it ain't no issue, man. Point two. Now, next, we're going to do the first trivia question. All right. Here we go. First trivia question dropping. And guys, remember the rules. Let's operate in integrity and do it right. All right. So here goes the first question. The first trivia question. If you guys want to have a chance to win the giveaway money for the trivia, go ahead and look at the comment section. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Why is it called Nobody's Finance?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not 4, 10, or 6. Sorry, guys. That's the last question.
The answer is 23, right? Answer to life. Was it 27, 23, something like that?
Hold a second. So it's PCI. He got the question because he said, because nobody is anybody in this space. He said something along those lines.
Woo! That's good.
Yeah, he quoted it almost exactly. So we got to give it to PCI.
I like that.
Yep.
PCI be printing in here.
Second trivia coming straight up. Copy. Alrighty, here goes the second trivia question. All right, here it comes in 1, 2, and 3. Everybody who wants to have a chance to win the second trivia question, pay attention to the comments. All right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. What is the name of their swap? PCI gets it again.
Whew.
Damn.
So that is 0.2 for PCI. Like I said, guys, you guys can really stack when it comes to our AMAs. So what we do is we give the power to you. You can control how much money you earn. So that's the point of us doing it the way we do it. And because it keeps people engaged and because it creates a nice competitive advantage between the people who are listening, and you have the power. If you pay attention and you are the most attentive, you're the one who's going to win, you know?
He's not wrong.
Love it.
All right. And now for the random question.
I got this. I got this one. So I'm going to hit you guys with a real trivia question. And unless some of you guys know this, you're going to have to Google it like super fast. But I am going to hit you with it in 3, 2, 1. What animal has 32 brains?
What?
There it is, lightning. A leech. A leech has 32 brains. They have 2 hearts and 300 teeth. That sounds terrifying, right?
That is insane.
That is insane.
All right.
I've only had one encounter with a leech and wasn't a big fan of it. So yeah.
It didn't get you, did it? That's like
it did. I was hiking, and then a little trick just on the topic of leeches. If you have like a credit card with you or an ID, if you slip it under one of its suckers, because it has a mouth on both ends, right? If you slip it under both sides of its mouth, if it's attached to you, you can fling it right off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I guess in your panic, you figured that out real quick.
I did. I was just hiking. I just continued to hike. I was like, well, that was rude, sir, but all right.
Oh man, that's awful.
By the way, Greed, he was just throwing that out there as his own question. That wasn't the random. So
it wasn't the number 6 today, guys. I'm sorry. I saw a few of you guys.
Yeah, it wasn't. But that wasn't the random. The random's coming up now.
No, I think that's it. That's it.
Decided. No, because we didn't do the random. It's 2 trivias and then the random.
No. PCI won both trivias.
Oh, okay, you wanted to do another trivia. Okay, well then Greed won that trivia.
Well, I thought Lightning.
We do 2 we do the best question, 2 trivias, and then the random.
Yeah, we did 2 trivias. We did a best question, 2 trivias, and then we did a random. I did the random question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got Sujay as best question. Lightning for trivia 1. Lightning for trivia. I'm sorry, PCI answered both trivia questions, and then we got the random.
All righty. Well, that is.
Greed is funny. He said rug. Next time, man. You're usually winning. So.
Greed. Sorry, brother. But actually, before we jump off, guys, we do have a big giveaway tomorrow here on the Haven. We're giving away that one bean for New Year's Eve, so join us.
Ooh.
And I have heard that we're going to be doing another little giveaway during the same time on that VC, so be on the lookout for that announcement. And also, we have a Twitter space coming up on Monday with DC and the United Front. So those have been a lot of fun. If you guys haven't joined one yet, we're doing karaoke, talent shows. They've been doing giveaways every time, so hop in with us, man.